as they make their way out onto the field here at the Estadio Municipal Villanueva. It's Barcelona versus Real Zaragoza for a chance to win that trophy there in the middle. The referee picks up the ball and we're nearly set for showtime here in the Under-19s Copa del Rey final. Barcelona, who are still alive in all three competitions, on course for a wonderful season, but this is when it counts. Now they need to really put in the hard yards. They'll do so against a Zaragoza team who've had to overcome great adversity on and off the pitch to get to this point. Now, everything is on the line. The players applaud those fans in attendance. Good turnout here, in fact, as you'd probably expect for such a big occasion at this level. Barca have had some real tests along their way. This will be right up there in terms of a big moment in the season. Fair to say Belletti's side are used to challenges, trials and tribulations this season. In fact, you could probably say that for both sides. Certainly Barca have had to come up against some formidable opposition just to get to this point. Well, there are the Zaragoza players next to the Barcelona ones, taking their pre-match photo. You can see the look of concentration, can't you, on the Zaragoza players. Well, here's the Barca lineup. Two changes from the semi-final. One of them's enforced as Jan Virgili was with Barça Athletic last night. So Juan Hernández has come into the front three alongside Hugo, Alba and Arnau Pradas. At right back there's a change too because Xavi Esparta's back and Belletti has trusted him ahead of Nil Teixidor, who was excellent in the semi-final against Betis. So two changes for Barca. Other than that, it's what you'd expect. And well, you can hear some of those fans, can't you? And why not? Well, here's the Zaragoza team. Franco and Pinilla have been the heroes so far in the cup run. Pinilla was the man who scored the 98th minute penalty in extra time against Las Palmas to get them to this stage. Berrer keeps his spotting goal. He saved a penalty in that game too. Zaragoza will be fighting with everything they've got. Well, speaking of saves, Aron Jakobishvili has really had to put up some pretty impressive stops in this competition so far. We can't forget the round of 16 penalty shootout against Dam under-19s when Jakobishvili saved and then scored himself from a Panenka chip. Can you believe it, from a goalkeeper? And last round, I mean, he was scrambling around at this venue, wasn't he, against the Betis side, who are physical and maybe favourites. We await the clock to turn to 12, to turn to midday. Strap yourselves in. The final is upon us. It's Barcelona versus Zaragoza. The first piece of silverware of the season is on the line. Barca have won it 18 times. Zaragoza are yet to win this trophy. The referee's whistle is to his lips, and here we go. Kim Junien gets us underway. Barcelona kicking from right to left here in this first half. Expect Barca to have lots of the ball. Zaragoza, you'd expect, will sit off and try and withhold the Catalans. How long will their resistance hold up for, though? That's the question. This one is hoofed long. Cuenca will do well to come over there and sweep it up. Walton hacks it clear. I'll tell you what, he scored a beautiful goal in the semi-final against Real Betis, still Alexander Walton. A goal of the highest order, wasn't it? An absolute firecracker off the post in. That came at a time in the game too when Barca really needed a second goal just to kill things off against Betis, who were starting to build and get closer. Kim Junien, Walton. Good turn by Juan Hernández out on the touchline. Very gifted player. Big day for him today. been on the fringes in the recent weeks as Juan Hernández today gets a big chance. Slightly out of position, he's more of a number 10 than a left winger, you'd say. But he'll come inside and make up the numbers in midfield, you'd imagine. I think it's fair to say it's a big loss having no Jan Virgili for Barca, but they've started well here. Here's the score of the opener in the semi-final. Pedro Rodriguez, cross in, finds its way to Juan Hernández. Save with the feet of Berard, and Zaragoza survive within 90 seconds here. Early chance for the Catalans. Here's Cuenca. Well, time seemed to just stand still there, didn't it, when it fell to Juan Hernández, who just couldn't quite find the corner. There was a defender in the way, in all fairness. I wonder whether that's what made Berard see it late. Dinked in here, Berard calls for it, and he does indeed get the save. Early scare then for Zaragoza. Kicked right on the other end where Xavi Espart will do the defensive work, and that one will roll all the way out for a goal kick. Well, this looked like it may well have been the opener within the opening 90 seconds. I mean, when it falls to Juan Hernández there, it's got a good chance. I mean, it's an unorthodox save, isn't it, really? Doesn't get down, Berard. There is Juliano Belletti. He says, we're up against a really good team today. This will be a real challenge, but, I mean, he's been brilliant the way he's gone about his work this season. Everything is still up to play for Barca. The league are still top of that one. They'll be hoping to wrap it up and, of course, get to the Copa Campeones. That's a great ball by Cospo, tucked out of play for a corner. And it's fair to say that Barca have started very well indeed here. It's going to be Brian Fariñas who's gone over to take this corner then. He's been an important cog in the system this season. In by Brian Fariñas, heads go up. Zaragoza steered it clear. Cuenca gives a shove in the back. And hacked up field, and some defending to do here for Xavi Espart. That may well drop difficultly here. And Zaragoza trying to break away. I didn't see anything wrong with that from Xavi Espart. Play on, says the referee. And Barca survive. It was Cantero, wasn't it? He was putting himself about there. Good spin by Kim Jin. Watch out for him too. It's been a real bright spark in Barca's season. Here's Arnau Pradas. Missed a few chances in the semi-final that he probably wouldn't expect to miss. Certainly I remember one at 1-0. Here's Cuenca. Over to this far side now for Hugo Alba, who's come wide. He struggled to get involved in the game, but 20 goals this season for him. He knows where the net is. That may well fall loose, hacked clear in the end. That one's well recovered by Arnau Pradas, who'll send it back to Adon Jakobishvili. Does Barca have the ball under control again? Well, as much as they're the favourites, Barca, and they are the all-time champions and most successful side at this level in this competition, as are the men, of course, in the Copa del Rey and the first team. But for all those 18 wins they've got in the 28 finals, the last time that Barca won this competition was 14 years ago in 2011. Oscar Garcia was the manager. Rafinha and Deulofeu played on that day. I mean, that tells you, and that's Rafinha Alcantara, of course, that tells you how long ago it's been. Here's Hugo Alba. Kim Jun-yen through the legs, glorious play that. Wide now to Arnau Pradas, onto his left foot where he likes it, strikes it low, and that'll be another corner. But it does give you an indication of, well, yeah, okay, we've won it a lot of times, but this does mean an awful lot. It's not like it's come about every year. This is a highly contested title with the likes of Real Madrid, Atletico de Madrid, Real Betis, certainly. All those three sides have been in amongst the titles in recent years. Here's Brian Fariñas over this corner. Whipped in to the back post. And the referee saw something he didn't like. The ball went out of play before it came back in. So we'll have a goal kick here. Lovely skill that, wasn't it, by Kim Jin? Just plodded it through the legs of his player. Cosmo heads that one away. Cuenca is onto the rebound, or Walton rather, I should say. Here is Kim Jin again. Star at Spain's youth levels, and he seems to just get away from gaps that don't seem quite possible. Here is Arnau Pradas. Oh, lovely outside of the boot, ball around the back there, but in the end, it's hacked clear. Lots of early possession then for Barca in the opening 7 minutes, as you'd expect, and they've got close to breaking Zaragoza down. I think what's been impressive about Belletti's side this season is probably how cool they've kept in the big moments. I mean, as an under-19 side, I think so often when it gets to these sorts of stages, or you look at some of the youth league fixtures they've had where they've been in almightily precarious positions. I remember the Dinamo tie, for example. I mean, Aston Villa, when they were just within 1 goal there at Villa Park, a big stadium. They've just kept cool in those moments. It says something about the mentality of the group, I feel, and what Belletti's done with them this season. And he has spoken a lot about the mental side of being a footballer for Barcelona. Whenever he's had the chance to speak to the media, just seems to have really rubbed off on these players. Very young players, of course, and I think the importance of that can't really be understated. Here is Xavi Espart. Well, Espart was sent off, if you remember, in the round of 16. Against Dam, that was when Barca were in another one of those precarious positions. They won that one on penalties. Here's Kim Jin, quick interchanging football on the penalty area. Zaragoza have potentially got a line of 5 back there, or a line of 8 if you like, just trying to block everything that's coming through for Barca. Well, the favourites have started the better team, it's fair to say. What was interesting, though, about that semi-final with Betis, I thought, is that, well, Barca showed a completely different side to their game in that one. It was not one of those games of just possession, 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 and chance after chance. I mean, Barca really had to dig in, play without the ball, ride their luck a little bit, know how to manage a game. Subs helped in that regard too, I think, but it felt like a massive step in the right direction for the under-19s in their season. Here's Arnau Pradas. Ball in the back is to Xavi Espart. Espart gets there. It may well fall here to Hugo. Alba. It's cleared away. Arnau Pradas again through to Xavi Espart. Got it a little bit muddled up. Still alive this for Barca. Arnau Pradas blocked. Maybe falls for Hugo Alba here. But in the end, Zaragoza will clear. I think it was Palacio who did the work in the end. Aggressive defensive play by Cuenca there, and it's another giveaway for Zaragoza, who I think will be feeling this maybe in the first 9.5 minutes. They will want at least some possession just to ease the pressure on their goal. Oh, and Cosmo this time being aggressive. Barca centre-backs are like that. We've not seen Javier Garcés yet on the touchline for Zaragoza, but he's almost like a legend around these parts. I mean, he's been the Zaragoza winning manager dating back years. I mean, that's been in spells, I must say. It's not been all continuously, but he's had some run at this. This will mean an awful lot to him too. I mean, you talk about character, Zaragoza have to show that too. Beat Celta Vigo away from home 2-1 in the round of 32. They beat Villarreal in their most dramatic round yet, 4-3 in the round of 16. They were losing 3-1 in the first 25 minutes in that one. Sergio Beltran Raton, as he's known, scored twice in that one. And watch out here because, well, calls for a penalty. I don't think it was. Referee unmoved. It was actually a Jorge Franco, who of course is on the pitch today. He scored in an extra time to win it for Zaragoza. That's fine play on the right-hand side. Ball into the middle. Might well fall here. Chance for the opener for Zaragoza. Lovely skill. Barca survive for now. It was Pinilla, wasn't it, who was in there dancing around. This is Diego Hernández back into the back post, and Jakobishvili gratefully claims. I mean, you even look at the quarter-final for Zaragoza, that 2-1 win over Malaga. It looked like they were cruising. Cese and Cantero scored in that one, but Diego Hernández actually himself was sent off then, and that made things really hairy. They conceded and just about survived, won that one 2-1. And you look at the semi-finals, of course, just a few days ago. I mean, the advantage Zaragoza have is that they played on the Wednesday, Barca played on the Thursday. Not been a lot of rest. That's a great ball by Cuenca, and Hernández is in behind here. The pullback is sharp, the shot comes in, taken off the goalkeeper. And Kim Jun-yen was the one coming onto it, not as strong in his left foot. That's what Cuenca's got to his game. He really spotted a gap there, didn't he? That looked like a Barca ball, I think it was. Well, this was the skill, wasn't it? Great skill too by Garcia, the captain. When it fell to Cantero in there, he was weaving around, just couldn't quite find an angle to get a shot away. Good skill though here. That was Tobajas. No penalty, I don't think, there on the collision with Walton, if I'm being completely honest. Here can Barca again. Kim Jun-yen. Wide to Arnau Pradas. Now back to his left foot. Inside to Cuenca. Fariñas. Walton. He's got Juan Hernández wide. Juan Hernández, who's worked well from the left-hand side so far today. Walton stepping inside now. It was about that sort of range where he led the one in against Betis. Here is Pedro Rodriguez. Wide now again to Xavi Espart. They want a handball, not going to get it. Arnau Pradas, that typical outside of the ball. Back round to Espart. Beaten out by the goalkeeper. Headed clear, and Zaragoza will clear. Fair to say, the pressure is mounting. And that little ball on the back from Arnau Pradas to Xavi Espart has come off on several occasions. They do have a good connection, right back and right winger. And that maybe came into the mind of Belletti when picking who to start today. Feels a bit harsh on Nil Teixidor, but there it is again, that little outside of the boot ball, and Walton was in there, he couldn't control. Given away to not who you'd want to give it away to, though. Kim Jun-yen to Juan Hernández. Ball pack is going to find Arnau Pradas! And Barcelona break the deadlock in the final, and it's him again. Arnau Pradas does the business for Barca, and they take the lead within 15 minutes here at Villanueva de la Serena. Barca 1, Zaragoza 0. That was absolutely lethal from Juliano Belletti's side. Zaragoza caught cold, overplayed things at the back, and when it fell to Arnau Pradas, he made absolutely no mistake there. Big player for a big moment. He's been that good all season. Well, that was absolutely deadly, wasn't it? We'll see again here. I think it was Juan Hernández who was pressuring, and the ball was loose in an area where it can't afford to be loose. Not to Kim Jun-yen. Great little flick. Here's Juan Hernández. Pullback was excellent. Finish was even better. Absolutely superb, that. Bang. I mean, Zaragoza put their arms up in disbelief, but you simply cannot afford to do that against this Barcelona team, who have been knocking on the door in the opening 15 minutes here, and now do make the breakthrough. They've played with real calm and confidence. Zaragoza have been shell-shocked even by that themselves. And they knew, obviously, they're coming into the game as, well, not favourites. Barcelona are the favourites, but haven't been shocked or fazed by the occasion at all, have Barca. Playing with a real swagger in these opening moments. Do Barca smell blood maybe now? Can they capitalise on this positive moment they're in? Finals can ebb and flow, we all know that. Second goal now for Barca would really set the scene here, you feel. Well, that man got the assist. Juan Hernández, fine assist too. Gospot. is good skill by Pedro Rodriguez. Got away from a few players there into Kim Jun-Yent now. All the way wide again to Juan Hernández, who's kept the width really well so far on this left-hand side. Juan Hernández stands up his man, pulls it back to Walton, who likes it here. Walton to the back post, no one waiting in Barca red and blue. Here's Arnau Pradas, and there is a chance, and there is the second. It's the reverse of what happened for the first goal. It's Arnau Pradas to Juan Hernández, and Barca are running away with this here. Barca 2, Zaragoza 0. This time it's Juan Hernández. What a start for Juliano Belletti's side. In a final, this is pretty much dreamland. They're carving Zaragoza apart, and they're doing so with an impressive style too. He's been brilliant. Goal and assist now for both of those two. And the two wingers are making the difference here at Villanueva de la Serena. Zaragoza absolutely shell-shocked, stunned. They can't handle it. It's been lightning quick, red-hot Barca. Ball in from Walton, was heading in towards Noah, and that header isn't too smart. But that's very gifted, that from Juan Hernández. It's not an easy finish. Comes at him quickly from Arnau Pradas. But he readjusts his foot, steers it into the corner, and gives Barcelona daylight here. Well, we said, didn't we, immediately after the first one went in, that maybe Barca will smell blood now. I think that's exactly what they've done. Caught Zaragoza cold yet again after scoring the first, and got themselves a second, and now are in a really good position in this final. And they're playing some really good football too, very slick football. You can see they're enjoying themselves out there. The Barca team hasn't won this trophy since 2011. That will tell you the feat they're completing here. And here's Xavi Espart. It could be 3 if they hurry. It's going to be a goal kick. And I think someone from Zaragoza here, whether that is the coach, Javier Garcés, or one of those players, maybe the captain Garcia, just needs to round the players together here and calm them down, because right now they're getting absolutely run over here by Barca. That ball's come all the way through. Cuenca gets it clear. Well, Barca have been pretty stellar all season. I think this is right up there with some of the best starts they've made actually to games. You have to consider that Barcelona, for a lot of their wins this season, have actually come from behind. There's a fascinating stat which tells us that in Barcelona's 36 games this season, they've won 29 of them. They've actually won 12 of that 29 after coming from a goal down or coming from behind. That tells you a lot about the character of this team, and they don't always start well. They often have had to come back in games. Not today. In fact, you look at their cup run. Other than the Betis game, they went behind in the round of 32, the round of 16, and the quarterfinals. They showed great character in all of those games. It's been a similar sort of run in the Youth League. They've gone behind in an awful lot of Youth League games too, and still gone on to win. Today they've made the necessary start though, and there's too much space here really from a Zaragoza point of view, because here's Pedro Rodriguez. He's got options, elects to shoot, and beaten away by Berrar. And that will go out for a corner. Pedro Rodriguez electing to go alone on that occasion. I think it was the right call actually. Sort of opened up for him. Scored last round of course. Actually scored against Zaragoza in the league fixture that was played in October. Didn't quite generate the necessary power, you'd have to say, but well tipped away. Well, blue sky starting to open up there with the clouds above. Very pleasant day here. Windy though. You can see there the corner flag. Here's Arnau Pradas swinging this one in. It's all the way to the back post. The header comes in, and it's going to go all the way out for a goal kick. Is it? No, Arnau Pradas has kept this one in. Still Arnau Pradas shoots, and it's straight at Berrar. And an inventive kick. Zaragoza need to try anything they can really to get up the pitch. And Walton watched that all the way. There's no chance for Pinilla to keep that one in play. Well, for Walton, big moment in his season too, I feel, the last few weeks. Jofre Torrent, who actually made his debut for Barça Athletic last night, has been the left back often for the team, but when Walton's come in, I just feel in recent weeks more than anything, seems to really have established himself in that position. Here he comes, Barca's left back. Tell you what, some of the pockets that Kim Junyen's picking the ball up, likewise Pedro Rodriguez, have been fantastic so far, causing Zaragoza huge headaches. They can't seem to pick them up right now. So aggressive the centre-backs too of Barca. They've just got such a clear style of play. Everyone's abiding by it. Everyone's bought into what Belletti wants to bring. It's a typical Barca style, and when you've got players as gifted as the ones that he's got, he just lets them do the talking. Well, coach Javier Garcés said that he sees his Zaragoza side in a remarkable moment before this game, in an extraordinary moment. He said the finals are there to be won. You have to be mentally prepared, and we are. Well, it's not been the start they wanted so far. Well, is there a change coming up here or something? Seems to be some sort of movement. I think there is indeed an early sub, and well, I wonder whether that was injuries related or not. Diego Hernández is the one who's come off there. We'll have confirmation of who's come on. That may well not be injury related. That may well be Zaragoza saying, well, we've had enough, I've seen enough. What a ball by Cuenca through to Juan Hernández. Opens up again here for Barca. Well left by Hugo Alba to Walton. Walton beaten out by Berar. And Arnau Pradas agonizingly across the face of goal. Kim Junyen gets hold of this. It's another nutmeg from him. That one was a foul this time. There you have it then. Diego Hernández off for Zaragoza. And it's going to be Manuel who comes on then. So a more offensive change for Zaragoza. That's what they need right now, to be fair. Well, that was going in from Walton. I don't think he meant it as a shot, but it had to be saved. And it was by Berar. Almost a hero, wasn't he, Berar? In the last round. He saved the penalty in minute 30 against Las Palmas here. It was Pinilla who went down the other end and scored a penalty in extra time to get Zaragoza here. Before either of the final 4 games were played, though, it did always feel that whoever won out of the Barca-Betis clash would go on to win the title. In a final, you just never know. I think you can see who the favourites are here. Kim Junyen was fouled there. Referee runs away. He says, I'm not giving a yellow for that. Yeah, cynical, wasn't it? Jaime, who was having a hold there of Kim Junyen. Here's Cospot. Over to Cuenca. They've had little work to do at the back so far. Mainly been in possession, trying to break lines for Barca. Barca have broken the lines really well, though. It's not always easy in a final to carve teams open as well as Barca have done so far today. 25 minutes played, a very satisfactory 25 minutes so far in the cup final for Barca, who are right now on course for their first title of the season. Lots of football to be played still. Juan Hernández trying to come back to help Barca here. Well, that change has worked really well. Credit to Barca for that too, because it's not easy to lose such an important player like Jan Virgili so late on in the tournament. Barca felt that he was more useful and more important with Barca Athletic, as they are in a right-hold scrap at the bottom of their division. Ball into the back post. It's not going to come in towards anyone. Well, Jakobishvili within the opening 2 minutes had to make a massive save against Betis in the semi-final. He's not had to do anything similar to that so far. These games, they were all about just keeping your focus, keeping your concentration. These moments can change in an instant. Switch from Cospot. brilliant again to Juan Hernández. Touch was good inside brilliantly. Tries to pick out. Kim Junyen gets there in the end. Kim Junyen swivels. Walton. Fariñas. Now Arnau Pradas. Back to Xavi Espart. Whilst it's 2, Barca will probably feel as if this one's not tied up. A third would probably do that. Cuenca. Kim Junyen. Good sliding challenge there by Garcia, in all fairness. But they can't get out Zaragoza right now. I mean, they need to get 10, 20, 25 yards up the pitch, if we're being honest with ourselves, if they want to start imposing any threat on the Barca goal. Right now, it's just attack versus defence. And with the area and the situation of the game that Barca are in, they can afford to just keep it slow, play around the back. Look how much time and space Cuenca's got right now on the ball. I mean, Zaragoza can't really afford that. Here's Cospot. Cuenca. Now Walton. He's done that so well off the left-hand flank. Hernández comes inside again. Now it's found its way through to Xavi Espart. Looks up. I think Hugo Alba's waiting in the middle. No doubt he'll be waiting for a goal. Here is Arnau Pradas, maybe trying to find his partner in crime. Still Arnau Pradas. Oh, and he nearly did find him, didn't he? Just peeled away there, Hugo Alba. They link up so well. So far it's been Arnau Pradas. And watch out here, because he's in here down the other end. Chance for Zaragoza, and a save for Jan Virgili. Well, Franco, big chance for him round the back. And out of nothing, that could have been the breakaway that Zaragoza were looking for. He was in his own half, so onside, no doubt about that. And he won the foot race with Cuenca, the Hugo Franco. Just couldn't quite generate enough power. He never did look likely to. Trying to catch Jakubishvili out of the near post there. Unlikely to ever do that. Just a sign that they can break away then. Warning for Barca, who had committed an awful lot of bodies up the field there. Xavi Espart. Bump as he gets past a few there. Here's Cuenca. Switch from Cuenca is sharp to Arnau Pradas. Overlap is from Pedro Rodriguez this time. Diving header from Garcia gets it clear. Backs against the wall again for Zaragoza though, isn't it? There's the Barca bench. You can see Jan Virgili down there. I'm not sure he'll feature today, especially as things stand. Only played 20 minutes yesterday for Barca Athletic, but I mean, the travel involved and everything, going to and fro, it's not ideal preparation, obviously, hence the fact that he's not starting today. Here is Fariñas, over now to Arnau Pradas. As Barca come again. Arnau Pradas again trying to try the outside of the boot. Ball around the back, but Zaragoza survive. Oh, that's an awful giveaway. Can't afford to do that, not there. Oh, and it should have been 3 for Barca. Kim Junyen was the man who picked it up. Zaragoza not helping themselves here at times, and I think he knows that was a big chance. Take a look again here. Well, or we won't. So then 30 minutes played, it's 2-0 Barca. It could have been more. They're in a very favourable position right now. Fariñas will take this upcoming corner. Steered away at the front post, and it will fall now to Kim Junyen again. What I think 2 goals in a final in those opening 16, 17 minutes does for you is it just fills you with confidence. You see the Barca players trying things now that they weren't trying before. I mean, they've got that cushion to really be inventive and show their absolute best version. Well, the change, Manu coming on for Diego Hernández. We haven't really seen the effects of that yet for Zaragoza, have we? I'm almost certain that was a tactical change, a technical decision, not a injury-related sub. So again, it's Fariñas on the corner. In it goes, flicked on, header is brilliant, and there's the Barca third. They do now have a 3-goal cushion, and it's Hugo Alba, this season's top scorer, and now each and every one of that front 3 are on the score sheet. He runs right all the way to Belletti, who is the leader of this team, captain to manager, and Barca have an almighty cushion in the final. Barcelona 3, Zaragoza 0, and it's Hugo Alba who gets his goal. The captain, the Pichichi, the top scorer. The the man who always finds the back of the net. And, well, if there wasn't daylight before, there is now. Barca are running away with this one. Nothing Bernard could do about it at the front post. He ghosted in there, Hugo Alba, and it's a really comfortable header, isn't it? Guides that in brilliantly, generates so much power on it. And a great act, wasn't it there? What a great image. Runs over to Belletti. Even runs past his teammates to get to his manager. You can see the bond players and coach have. You could see what this means to the players. First Arnau Pradas, then Hernández, and now Hugo Alba. All of the front three on the score sheet. And it's so far proven to be a perfect early Sunday afternoon for Barcelona, who are well on course here to pick up their first title of the season. They've been absolutely marvellous. Zaragoza have had absolutely nothing to say for themselves. Pinillas trying to do all he can, but between Cuenca and Juan Hernández, Barca do the job and clear. No goal for Hugo Alba in the semis, and I'm sure he would have been waiting for his moment in the final. He does now get it, and he's one of those players who seems to always get his moment, doesn't he? I make that 21 goals for the season for Hugo Alba. Here's Cuenca. Kim. Switch is good to Xavi Espart. Down the line to Arnau Pradas. Well, there's lots of calm over the game now. Barca have got the final exactly where they want it. And the most positive thing now for Barca is that Zaragoza look as if they're just dead out there. That one is going to find its way through to Franco. Cospo's waiting and watching him in close attendance, though. That's well played, but again, Barca get their foot in there and clear the danger. Well, some possession here for Zaragoza then. What can they carve out now? Cantero. Overlap was offered by Garcia. Cantero comes inside, might strike here, does strike. Not a bad effort too by Cantero, but it was too central and Jakobishvili comfortably grasped it. There you go again. This is maybe the best that Zaragoza have produced in terms of some build-up play. Cospo wide. Arnau Pradas back to Cospo. Cuenca. Here is Kim Junyen, who comes inside here. Still Kim. Juan Hernández. Cuenca. Arnau Pradas on the right-hand side. Back inside to Pedro Rodriguez now. Barcelona just not forcing the issue as much now they've got that 3-goal advantage, and rightly so, understandably so. No need to at this stage in the game. Zaragoza, it doesn't look as if it's going to be another Copa del Rey title for them. It won't be the first one. They'll still go in hunt of it. And these are two sides with a little bit of history, actually. They had a bit of a turbulent relationship over the summer when Gorka Will and Samuel Bonriquel actually joined Barca's Cadete sides, Cadete A and Cadete B, under 16s and under 15s, and actually caused Zaragoza, who believed that those were two of their biggest talents, especially Gorka Will, that caused them to actually ban Bahia Agency International altogether from the club's premises. It's had some repercussions too. Here's Arnau Pradas, Hugo Alba strike down to the front post. There is Berar. But you look at some of Zaragoza's players who actually play for the under-19s right now, who for over a month, since the 19th of February, haven't played. That includes Sergio Beltran Raton, as he's known, Denis Rufo, and also Jorge and Pablo Lambea, who are brothers. They haven't played in over a month now for Zaragoza, and that's because they're represented by Bahia Agency. I mean, that says it all, really, about how serious the club were taking what had happened in terms of losing what they felt were some of their biggest talents to Barcelona at such a young age. They saw them as the future in the side, but those are 4 big losses, 4 players who all have a lot of quality for Zaragoza and who no doubt would be starting in this final. So in that regard, it's not been an easy last month for Zaragoza, but they're taking it very seriously. They're not just bringing those players back into the action. Well, what will Javier Garces be saying to his players at half-time too? Actually first became the juvenil manager, the under-19s manager of Zaragoza back in 1993. I mean, since then he's bounced around from Zaragoza's youth side. He's also flipped around to Egea, but he's mostly been around Zaragoza for so many years now. Over 30 years, that is. I mean, it's remarkable, and he's still here now. Most recent stint was when he joined in 2021, and that's since he's been back. So 4 years now running, but I mean, goodness me, you can look back 30 years and Javier Garces has been around Zaragoza, so this will mean an awful lot to him. And this isn't the first time that Barcelona and Zaragoza have played each other in a cup final too, at under-19 level. In fact, out of the 4 previous times that Zaragoza reached this stage of the under-19s Copa del Rey, 3 of them have been against Barcelona. They lost all 3. First in 1997, they lost 4-3. Lobo Carrasco scored 4 goals for Barca on that day. They then lost 3-1 in 1980, and then 2-0 in 2006. Sergio Busquets scored for Barca on that day. Before then, they'd lost in 1956. That was just after the tournament was created. They lost to Atletico de Madrid. There is Javier Garces. You wonder what will be going through his mind right now. He's almost seen it all at this level. So Barcelona often being the nemesis of Zaragoza in the cup. It's proven to be the case again so far today. Walton, good idea, good ball too. Kim Junien, Juan Hernández now. Good tackle. Garcia who got in there, I think. Cospo. Strides forward here, Cospo. Alex to shoot, Cospo! Oh, wasn't a bad effort at all either. Blasted over by the goalkeeper. Long range strike from the centre-back. Now, I wonder whether that was dipping in, actually. Maybe would have struck the crossbar and in. Had to be stopped by Berar, who just put a glove up there. Well, Barca scored from their last corner. Hugo Alba steered it in from this side, from a blind Fariñas delivery. Let's see what Belletti's side can conjure up here. Fariñas is over it. Hand goes up, signals up, in it goes by Barca's number 6. Oh, Cuenca wasn't far away from that one. Running back to do here for Walton because there's a breakaway. Cantero. Referee says nothing wrong with that, but actually Palacio comes away with the ball. Here is Cantero again. On his right foot to the back post. Not a bad ball. Cospo steers it clear. Xavi Esparza takes charge and hacks that one away. Oh, it's given away now. Badly so too, because Arnau Pradas is going to run onto this, but his second touch was too heavy. Well, it's been a very busy period in the season this for Barca. Certainly there'll be heavy legs. They have a little bit of respite now. They don't play in the Youth League again until the 2nd of April when they face Stuttgart away from home. Before then, there will be league fixtures for Belletti's side. Lovely ball out by Inter around the back towards Garcia. Xavi Esparza has to be careful. It was Cantero who played the ball. Can Barca break away here, though? Kim Junyen, lots of space ahead of him. He's got Juan Hernández wide left, and he's got acres ahead. Here's Juan Hernández. Who does he pick out now? Juan into Kim Junyen. Now to Pedro Rodriguez. Oh, and Arnau Pradas was in on the right-hand side. He couldn't quite pick him out, though. Well, game has almightily slowed down, hasn't it, since the 3rd Barca goal? And credit to Barca for that. They didn't just settle at 2-0, they went for the 3rd. 2-0 can be a dangerous scoreline. 3-0 gives you an almighty buffer. And Zaragoza, I think, will feel not just physically but mentally unable to really come back from there. Stranger things have happened, no doubt about that. And, well, Cantero's been brilliant in at least trying to bring Zaragoza back into this, and there you have it, first corner of the game for Zaragoza, who now will try and swing something into the box. And again, credit to Cantero, because he's been the most likely so far. Not long, though, until the interval here, just 90 seconds. I'm not sure if there'll be any added time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes maximum. It shouldn't be any more than that. Swung in now, and at the front post there's an option. Well, a goal there for Zaragoza, and then who knows? Juan Hernández has to pick his option quickly. I didn't do so in time. Kim Junyen just robs that one straight back, though. And it was a foul, it was a tussle, and rightly given. And then a little shove at the end there from Torbajas, was almost to say, you're too good. Here is Cuenca then. Over back now to Cospo. Hugo Alba, who comes deep on this occasion, does filter it wide though to Juan Hernández. Is there a final Barca flurry before the half is up? Juan Hernández. Will fall again to Barca's number 7. Well, 3 additional minutes is what it will be in the end then. I suppose the goal celebrations? The substitution for Zaragoza? Other than that, we had no stoppages. Half has flown by. Here is Cantero. Over now to Torbajas. Intercepted by Arnau Pradas, but Torbajas will have another go at this. He's got to be careful here. He's running into an awful lot of Barca shirts. Comes away with the ball eventually. Good press from Barca, though. Good defending by Cuenca. Stuck with his man all the way. And Andres Cuenca, who's now had experience playing plenty of games in the 3rd division of Spanish men's football. I think you can really see that when he plays at under-19s level. He just sort of has like a sense of superiority over a lot of forwards who come onto him. Here's Fariñas. Wide here for Walton. Well, it now doesn't have a sort of fine and intensity about it, the game. That's good news for Barca, though, who are in a very favourable position here. They'll just need to do a professional job in the second half and the trophy will be theirs. Still, with 45 minutes of action left to play for, there's nothing that can be taken for granted, not in a final. I mean, you can see them here, there's no pressure on the ball when the Barca centre-backs have it, and that's not really going to get Zaragoza back into this one. Arnau Pradas again on the right-hand side. Inside to Kim Junyen, tried to filter one through as Pedro. Now Juan Hernández, looked for the option, curled it over. You could see that corner open, couldn't you? This was that piece of defending earlier from Cuenca. It's a readjustment of his body that's so impressive, I think, there. When he gets flipped inside, he still manages to adjust, and careful there from that goal kick from Berard. It hit off the head of Hugo Alba. Comes through eventually for Zaragoza, though, who can play it wide if they hurry. Pinilla, wide to Cantero. Cantero tries to get to the byline here, gets there but overruns it. And with just 10 seconds to go, Barcelona look as though they're going to be going in here with a 3-goal advantage. And there you have it, half-time whistle blown by the referee. Barcelona leading by 3-0 at half-time in the final against Zaragoza. The opener came from Arnau Pradas, set up by Juan Hernández. Scorer then turn provider. Arnau Pradas set up that man there, Juan Hernández. And then Brian Fariñas whipped in a corner, which Hugo Alba steered it in. It's been a superb and stellar performance so far from Juliano Belletti's boys, who are leading this one and are just 45 minutes away from bringing home the first title of the season. We'll be back with you in 15 minutes for more action at half-time. It's Barca 3, Zaragoza 0, which we'll wait for now. Referee's happy, and so are we. We're back underway here. Barcelona will this time be shooting from left to right for the second 45 minutes. Just looking down now, it looks as though it's Pedro Rodriguez who's come off here for Tomás Marquez. So Barca add some more strength in midfield there. Other than that, it's unchanged for Juliano Belletti's side. There is the confirmation of that substitution. I thought Marquez was brilliant off the bench, actually, against Real Betis in the semi-final here on Thursday night. Really did a good job of just beefing up the Barca midfield, just getting Barca through a few difficult situations. There is Marquez, over now to Fariñas, who now will play a little more advanced. And actually credit to Barca, because there's not been a big turnaround at all. You have to remember, that game against Betis started at 6 o'clock local time. It was finished at 8 o'clock. And you've barely got Sunday night to recover. Then you've got Friday and Saturday. And then to play on Sunday at 12. I mean, that's not even 72 hours of rest time. Not close to it even. So that's not easy to do at all for Barca, and they've coped with it very well, especially not for a young squad, especially when they've not made changes. Just 2, of course, from the lineup that beat Betis in the semis. Xavier Espart came back in, as did, well, Juan Hernández played from the start in place of Jan Virgili too. So, man, it's been an inspired decision to put Juan Hernández in, because he's been wonderful. Here he is again. Barca's number 7. Cuts inside, sets one up here. Here's Brian Fariñas. Well, he was caught late there, and wow, that's going to be the first booking of the game. Here it is, yeah. That wasn't great, was it, from Cantero, who, credit to him, has been good going forward, but that was a bit of a nasty kick out there on Brian Fariñas. I think frustration more than anything. Certainly unnecessary. He wanted his player to show a little bit more aggression. Well, so you can understand, but Still unnecessary. Well, what is the Barca approach to this second half? You know, after they got their third in the first, it was very much, let's sit off now, let's just tap this one around the back. Let's not overexert ourselves. Definitely weren't looking for the fourth, it's fair to say that. In this second period, do they look for that fourth? Do they play with a bit more energy and then maybe sit off again? That's what will be intriguing to see. I suppose it also depends on the Zaragoza approach, because Zaragoza in that first half barely got out of their own half, and that really made it difficult for them to carve out any meaningful attacks. They're switching that up early on here, though. Here is Manu, who came on in the 20th minute. We've not seen much of him since that moment. Garcia's come over to the left-hand side now, tucked back into Tobajas. Switches that one over to Balondo. Now Gomez. Tucked back to Pinilla. Already a bit more possession from Zaragoza. Well, they might as well try something. Genuinely have nothing to lose now, don't they? Good defending from Xavi Esparza. Aggressive, strong in the challenge. Oh, good ball on the back that. Steered away. Cosbal was alert. It's now just a case for Barca of being professional, being alert, being switched on without the ball. That's what they'll need to do. And then if they can, they'll pick their moments down the other end. Of course they will. But they showed already all of the champagne football, didn't they, in that first half. Came out the blocks absolutely flying and picked up 3 really nice goals. First two in particular were just built really nicely. Third was a corner, of course. Good routine, well steered in at the front post, but some of the technical quality we've seen on play has been immense, and it's a credit to Belletti and the side he's created this season. They've been great fun to watch. I mean, they've got so much support and positive things said about them, have the under-19s right throughout this season, and probably rightly so, I'd say, because they're certainly one of the best groups that we've seen in recent years at under-19 level for Barca. You can't forget, the under-19s for Barca haven't won this trophy since 2011, so it's been a good 14 years. This isn't just the Kings winning the same competition year upon year. No, this group have come together here and have really fought for these sorts of titles. That the cup will, by the end of this one, be out the way. Barca can put focus on the league, finishing top in that, getting themselves into the Copa Campeones, which is the Champions Cup that's played at the end, where all the winners of the groups combine and then one winner is eventually elected. Here's a chance for Zaragoza, which Jakobishvili is down to save. Barca will no doubt have their eye on that, won't they? Atletico de Madrid are the holders of that. They beat Betis in last year's final. Feel as if this time around Barca will at least fancy themselves to do something special in that competition, which is of course the regular league play. And then we can't forget about the Youth League, which is a very special competition. They play Stuttgart, who finished very well in the league phase too, alongside Barca. They play that game on the 2nd of April. So those games here for you on Barca One, don't miss them. Well intercepted there by Arnau Pradas. Doing some good defensive work. He did so much good attacking wise in the first half for Barca. It's overhit by Jakobishvili. I mean, you can see the Zaragoza players, and credit to them, they're just trying to rev up the crowd, or they're themselves really. They're trying to just force themselves back into this game. It's so hard when you've been pinned back in your own half the entirety of the first 45 minutes, and you're 3 goals down to then say, let's go again, let's try and get into a second gear. That really does take a lot to get to that point. Here's Thomas Marquez, over now to Brian Fariñas, inside, back again to Marquez. Kim Junyen, Thomas. Fariñas. Here is Arnau Pradas again, standing up as winger, comes inside of him, that's where he likes it. Fariñas, Arnau Pradas, slick football this from Barca. Juan Hernández blocked. Walton. Gomez is trying to get away here, and credit to him, he's still going here, Gomez. Powering down the right-hand side, he's been fouled. And will that be a booking? It will. I think it was Juan Hernández who came back in there. So Zaragoza now, nearly 9 minutes into the second half, have a chance to send the big boys up from the back and swing one into the box here. Well, this was that move earlier. So very nearly. Just couldn't find a chance to get the shot away there, really, Barca. Here we go then. Swung into the box. Not a bad effort, but straight into the hands of Jakobishvili. Well, I think it's good for Barca. They've managed to have Jakobishvili for this game. There's been a bit of a goalkeeper. Oh, watch out here first. There's been a bit of a goalkeeper debacle this season, actually, for the under-19s. They've had to use 8 different goalkeepers, I make it, in total, which is pretty unprecedented stuff, actually. That's been down to injury or just availability. Of course, they have to share with Barca Athletics so often. Almost makes it even more impressive what Belletti's done. I mean, you even look at a case like today where you've got Jan Virgili, who's been one of the stars of this team this season. And all of a sudden, the day before, he gets called up for Barca Athletic, and you can't use him in the final, and look how well they've done. Well, Zaragoza, 10 minutes into this second half, are coming out with a bit more venom to them. Javier Garcés, would have had some words at half-time. He's seen plenty of near calls over the years for Zaragoza. Remember, they still haven't won the Copa del REY with an under-19 side. Fariñas gets a bit of luck there, but gets it through, and now can drive on through midfield. Brian Fariñas switches on to Juan Hernández. Here is Juan Hernández taking the cut inside, shoots, and scores. He gets his second of the day. This time, it's even better than the first. A wonderful low-driven strike, and Barca make it 4. Juan Hernández, 2 goals, 1 assist. He's been at the heart of absolutely everything, and he came into the side today, and he's doing the business for Juliano Belletti. Barca 4, Zaragoza 0. Brian Fariñas was the man who drove through midfield. His switch was excellent, but everything that Juan Hernández has touched has turned to gold today. It's quite the final display from Barca's number 7. Well, having another look at it again here. Good driving run from Fariñas, good switch. Just looks dangerous in these areas, doesn't he, Juan Hernández? And he keeps it low and hard. Berard maybe should do better. Maybe unsighted at the near post. I didn't expect it, but credit to Juan Hernández. He caught him out there. Execution was good. Placement was good. And Barca have a 4th. Well, he's got a cut there to his face. I'm not sure if that was in the celebration or what, but all smiles for Barcelona, who now are surely out of sight here. Zaragoza just tried up the intensity a little bit in this second half, first 10 minutes of it at least. It's not come off, and Barca with a slick breakaway there and an emphatic finish. You'd imagine have put this one to bed, really. Well, they were the favourites coming into it, Barcelona. We can't forget they've already put 5 past Zaragoza at home this season in the league. They play in the same league. There's a 13-point gap between the two sides in that division. But when it's a final, I mean, look at that spin from Juan Hernández. Great skill again from him. He's having a stellar final. Here's Kim Junyen more on the setup of the two sides in just a moment, because Barca are looking for a 5th here. Why, it's Arnau Pradas. Pass 1, pass 2. And Garcia will sweep that up. But as I was saying, I mean, they are the favourites, Barca. They were the favourites, but I still think it's so impressive what they've done today. I really do. Arnau Pradas tries to get it back to Fariñas. Such a poor giveaway there, though, and Xavi Esparza is going to pick it up. Easy for Berard on that occasion. I mean, with finals, it often goes out the window, all of this. You know, league position, form. It's often just down to who wants it more on the day. I think it's fair to say Barca not only have looked like they've wanted it more, they've shown a great mentality, but the quality they've produced here. I mean, they've produced great football all season, but to do it in a final in the manner they've done it today. Careful here, Jakubishvili says it'll be mine, and it was. Yeah, it's something to take your hat off, isn't it, to Belletti on this side, because they haven't let their guard down at all. And even at the start of the second half here, when Zaragoza were pushing on Barcelona, managed to keep their heads, and you can see down there there's going to be a double change coming up, and why not now? Serves as a chance for Belletti to get some of his other players on the pitch, as he did with Thomas Marquez at half-time, of course. Barca don't play until next Sunday, in all fairness, against Gimnastic de Tarragona under-19s. And they have a week off until they play Mallorca. That's a big game. It could well decide the title race if Barca win that one at home. After that Mallorca game, they play Stuttgart away. So the big games simply do not stop. And here they come again. Juan Hernández wide left. He's in the sort of mood. Oh, and he nearly found Kim Jun-yen. Inches away from finding him, in fact. Well, we'll see who those two Barca changes are in just a moment. You can see them stripped and ready. I think one of them is Ibrahim Diarra, who's going to be coming on here for Barca, who has impressed since he's joined the club. Made his debut in the Cup, actually, against Dam in the round of 16. Here's Garcia. Hour of football played here at Villanueva de la Serena. No goals for Zaragoza, 4 for them for Barca. Hacked upfield. And look how slick the football is that Barcelona play. What a switch by Brian Fariñas. Champagne stuff this. Here he comes then. Juan Hernández again on a hat-trick. Dinks into the back post where Arnau Pradas brings it down perfectly. And this is Kim Jun-yen. Oh, and that would have been a wonderful Barca fifth. Credit, actually, to Zaragoza, who got back in there really well in the end. Really important intervention. It was Balondo, wasn't it, in the end, who got there. That would have been a special moment, though, wouldn't it? Here come the changes, then. First one, I think we're going to see Marcos Pariego come on here for Barcelona, are we? Yes, we are. So it's going to be Pariego and Ibrahim Diarra. They're on for Arnau Pradas and Kim Jun-yen, who nearly linked up there for a Barca fifth, I think. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kim Jun-yen and Pradas off then. Well, both of those all season long. Today again, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Barca now can rest just a few of them and bring Pariego and Ibrahim Diarra on. So Diarra will go over to that right-hand side. Pariego will be almost a like-for-like change with Kim Jun-yen in midfield. He's a bit more attacking, is Marcos Pariego. Came from Rayo in the summer. It's actually a former Real Madrid player, is Marcos Pariego. He's a more natural number 10, though. He almost will then be a 2 in midfield for Barca with Fariñas and Marquez, more of a double pivot. Pariego will play in the number 10. You can see him there. He'll try and join Hugo Alba in the box and attack that when the chance arises. Other than that, shape unchanged for Barca. No reason to change too much with the way things are going. Thomas Marquez has done another fine job coming on. That's Forceful ball back to Arnau Pradas, who strikes it out to Xavi Espart. Barca calmly play this one out, though. Here's Jakobishvili. Now Fariñas. Xavi Espart. Diarra. Well, it looked like he was fouled there to me. Referee saw nothing, and I thought he was bumped to the ground, in all fairness. Here's Cuenca. Over to Cosmo. At the time, it was a foul on Fariñas. Cuenca. Oh, and Diarra's in here. Great first touch. Diarra! Oh, and he knows that should have been a fifth. You can see the reaction as he falls to his knees. Well, first of all, lovely ball over. I think it was Cuenca, wasn't it? Second of all, glorious first touch. And thirdly, he should have stuck that away, but I think he's got to pick his corner maybe. Yeah, it was Cuenca. Look at this. Wow, bang. Kills it dead. Oh. I'll tell you what, credit to Bedard, that's a great save. Sticks his glove up there and, oof, Diarra must have thought he made it 5 there. Here he is then. It's a goal that would be his first since joining the club. He did force an own goal this time last weekend in a 4-0 win for Barca. Still yet to score outright himself. Good flick that though. Lovely link-up play here. Here comes Diarra again. You can see he's got that touch about him. Sonny has got the ilk to play for a club like Barca at this level. Here's Marcos Pariego, who manages to ride a few challenges. Juan Hernández. Back to Marcos Pariego, and Hugo Alba steers it in. Barca have their fifth, well built and brilliantly steered off in the end. And Hugo Alba has his second of the day. Zaragoza run over once more. The link-up play between Pariego and Juan Hernández was superb. And when the ball across found its way to their deadly finisher, he made absolutely no mistake from close range. Barca 5, Zaragoza 0. This is a rumping in the final. Well, this was slick, wasn't it? Sharp 1-2 there. Actually does really well, Pariego, to get that through actually to Hugo Alba, you'd have to say. Look at this. And Hugo Alba, well, he's not going to miss from there, is he? Not in the form he's been in. One of the deadly young strikers at this level. And Barcelona have a fifth. Well, you have to feel for Zaragoza at this stage now, because we're not even at the halfway point in the second half yet, and Barcelona, I mean, have absolutely ran away with this. It's just a question now of how many, isn't it? And I think the 2 goals have come whilst Barca haven't even been pushing that hard to get the goals. That's the worrying thing. They've sat off a lot more, Barca, in the second half, but they've just still carved Zaragoza open. Two substitutes have made good impact too already for Belletti. Diarra came close a few moments ago. He's linked up well too on the right-hand side, and there Pariego in the left channel doing the business. Here comes Alexander Walton, the hero of the last round. Juan Hernández picks it up, crosses to Diarra, maybe this time for the Barca winger. Diarra sort of slipped and stumbled on himself. Couldn't find the angle to get the shot away. Clearance is poor though. It finds Xavi Espart. Fariñas. Xavi Espart. Back to Brian. Here comes Diarra. What can he produce on this occasion? Well, Fariñas was again kicked out of there. Not great. Here's Pariego. Skips through a few. This time he was fouled. And Barca have a free kick in a very promising area. Just got to be careful, Zaragoza, not to lose their heads here. Been a few kickouts now. I mean, that one a certain foul, you can see it there. Well, who will be over this? You imagine Pariego's an option. Diarra's over the ball too. Sorry day at the office for Bedard, isn't it? And not really much you could have done about a lot of the goals. Missing big players, aren't they, of course, due to the agency scandal and whatnot, but they fought all the way through this competition, Zaragoza, today. They've fallen short. So it looks like it will be Marcos Pariego then, off the bench, and he strikes it. Oh, and he nearly makes it 6. Good low save when Hernández picks it up. He's not going to keep it in though, is he? No, goal kick. Changes then, more changes coming up here. And Real Zaragoza are going to be the ones making another change here. So the captain, Garcia, is off, not the day he would have dreamt of. And La Seca is going to come on for him. He would have dreamt of cup glory, of lifting the title for his side, but it wasn't to be today, it seems. This was that free kick then from Pariego. Well placed, but probably didn't quite have the power to be able to beat Berard from that sort of distance. Yeah, it's near the corner, not quite in it, but he went goalkeeper side, you would say that. Thomas Marquez there just oozing his way through midfield. He's got that physical superiority above a lot of other players at this level, which actually was the facet of Real Betis' game that we maybe thought would be the definitive factor in the semi-final. Got a lot of very physically dominant players. Approaching minute 70 then here, not long to go. Here's Cuenca. Given away there, and a burst through midfield could be on. Strike comes in low, deflected all the way through to Jakobishvili, however, no luck then for Zaragoza and Tobajas, who has tried in midfield. Nothing's quite come off. Marcos Pariego. Walton. To Cuenca. Over now to Eman Cosbo. Good ball into midfield here for Thomas Marquez. Now through to Brian Fariñas. Bit loose, but Marquez has picked it up. Well, I think we're going to see a goalkeeper change here for Barca. Eder Aller is going to come on here. Maybe that's to get him some minutes in the final. Here comes Walton. Lovely move this. Hugo Alba's waiting. Oh, full to Diarra. Oh, and it's agonisingly wide past the far post. I think he was offside anyway. Good move, wasn't it, though? Slick football on the left-hand side. Walton's ball in was certainly inviting. Tight there. I'm not sure they were offside, actually. In the end, didn't come to anything. I think Diarra was caught in two minds whether to lay that back or go for goal himself. Here we go, though. Goalkeeper sub for Barca. So Eder Aller will get a final appearance here in the Copa del Rey. Jakobishvili taken off, and on he steps then. One of those goalkeepers who has featured. And I think that sub there actually tells you the moment in the game that we're at right now. To be able to switch a goalkeeper at the 70-minute mark in the final. I mean, that's not really something you're able to do in normal circumstances. But Barcelona, such is the heavy scoreline that they're leading by here, are able to do so. What he'll want to do, Eder Aller, though, is preserve Barcelona's clean sheet. No doubt about that. They won't want to concede any goals here to Zaragoza, not with the way they've played so far today. They want it to be a perfect day at the office, and so far it has been just that. 5-0 up. Playing great football. Everyone's been on the score sheet, really, out of the players you'd expect. 2 for Hugo Alba, 2 for Juan Hernández, and 1 for Arnau Pradas. It's always been especially Hugo Alba and Arnau Pradas. I make that 14 goals for Arnau Pradas, now 22 for Hugo Alba. Juan Hernández has not been doing badly in terms of goals either, in all fairness. And all of this is without Jan Mirgili, we can't forget. Marcos Pariego picks it up in between the lines. Well, I'm not sure what's happened here. I thought maybe Pariego was the one fouled. Actually, it looks as though there's a Zaragoza player down in heaps of pain here. Was it a bad landing, maybe? This will tell us. I think the referee's given it for a free kick to Barca. Oh, was he caught in the face there, maybe, on the way down, actually? It was Palacio, wasn't it? I think he was. Yeah, it's a Barca free kick. It's got the armband on now, Palacio. Well, breakaway here then for Xavi Espart. This one's going to come loose in midfield eventually. And Barca will eventually get the free kick. Here's Cospo. Ball wide now to Ibrahim Diarra. Still Diarra. Now Fariñas. About 50 minutes to go, and the game pace has slowed down dramatically, as you'd expect, in all fairness. And it's going to come all the way through. Ball kicks downfield. Here's Arnau, Juan Hernández, I should say, coming away with the ball. He's scored 2 and he wants more. And it's going to be pulled out here for a throw-in. Ball had already been run out of play. Well, Zaragoza, I think when they were 3-0 down at half-time, they knew the task ahead of them, obviously. But in this second period, I think even though they came out with a little spell of 10 minutes of pressure and a burst of life, they haven't really been able to push on from there, you'd have to say. Here's Juan Hernández coming inside. Oh, this time he was fouled, and that could be a booking, actually. It will be. Yeah, it wasn't a good tackle. Yeah. It will just be one of those days, I think, that Zaragoza have to accept and say, it just wasn't our day. Well, here he comes then, Jan Mirgili. He's going to come on here for Juan Hernández, so he will get 13 minutes of action, a little bit less than he got for Barca Athletic last night. More football in the legs of Barca's winger. Surely disappointed not to start this game, but needs must. There is Juan Hernández, who may be the hero of this final. 2 goals, 1 assist for him. Tomás Marqués into Brian Fariñas. Wide now to Xavi Espart. Ibrahim Diarra. Espart. All the way back to Eder Alera, I should say. Of course, not Jakobishvili. Eder Alera has come on in goal. Barcelona have now made all of their changes. Watch out here. Bad giveaway at the back. Cospor gets it away once. Second time, Zaragoza still fighting. And Cospor comes away with the ball. Gomez there fighting for the ball, but Barca recover. Eder Alera unorthodoxly gets it away. This is Diarra. Good ground tackle block there by Xavi Espart. Brilliant right back play. Fariñas hacks this one over to Hugo Alba. His flick was unsatisfactory and didn't make its way through to Jan Virgili. Not the play you want to see coming on from a Zaragoza point of view, though, in this sort of moment of the game, is it? Jan Virgili, who's glided past almost everyone he's come up against this season. That was a foul, however, so Zaragoza here, with 11 minutes to play, have a chance to swing one into the box. Substitute Samu, who was fouled. Chance here. Shot comes in, no block away. It's well cleared and Barriego sticks it clear again. Back in now by Tobajas to the back post. Is there one for Zaragoza? Well, they're not even going to get a corner there because it was a foul. Well, it leaves Zaragoza at an interesting point in their season, doesn't it? They're not going to win the league in their group. This was the big competition they were fighting for. It's now about consolidating the season. Well, they need to solve off-field affairs too. Will Zaragoza, in terms of agencies and which players they can and can't use, that's no doubt hurt them in this late cup run. I mean, credit to them for getting through Las Palmas in the semis, but you even look back to the round of 16, when they beat Villarreal 4-3. I mean, a big reason for that was because of Sergio Beltran, who, of course, now is banned from playing for Zaragoza due to his agency. So, certainly things to deal with. That's good skill from Diarra, but he's been fouled. Free kick given. Jinked away well there from his marker, but was eventually pulled down. Barcelona 9 minutes away then from winning this trophy for the 19th time. 28 finals they've got to, including this one. 19 would be a pretty good return, you'd have to say. The kings of the cup, both at men's level and youth level then. Here's Cospor. Through now to Tomás Marqués, who miscontrols but manages to keep on his feet. And in fact, he was fouled, which is why he was put off balance. Fariñas. Good skill, jinks away from 1-2. Lays it back to Marqués. Over now to Ibrahim Diarra. Diarra, good ball to Xavi Espart. Pullback's good too. Barca have barely actually attacked for the last 10 minutes. Here they come though with Thomas Marquez. Oh, flick was good. Here's Xavi Espart. Good piece of defending. Corner. Interesting, isn't it? They could just sort of sit off it, Barca, play in first gear for a good 10-15 minutes, and then bang. Once they hit at you, they hit you hard. Just know how to turn up the heat. I think that might have been offside actually, but there's no VAR, that would have counted. Fariñas, wasn't it? Clever flick. Corner in. Steered on by the front post, but over from Hugo Alba, who is the only player on the pitch who's still looking for his hat-trick, of course, as Juan Hernández has been withdrawn. I think, well, he and probably a lot of Zaragoza players just want this one to be over. If both sets of players could, they probably shake hands right now and finish this one off. Reminder, here on Barca One, you can stick around because we will be showing you the trophy lift for Barcelona. So that is available to watch. Don't go anywhere after full time. We'll have a short interval after the full-time whistle is blown, but we'll be back to show you the celebrations. Here's Cuenca. Walton. Good one too there. Walton has not stopped running and he's still going here. Alexander Walton. Back now to Jan Virgili. Pariego. It's a rare giveaway there from Cospo, and a very cynical foul too, yellow card. Well, he made the giveaway and then thought, you're not going anywhere, hacked his man down. Not sure he would have got on the end of the ball actually, to be fair, but Marquez, Pariego. Good switch that over to Xavi Espart. Now Ibrahim Diarra. Inside to Thomas Marquez. Just 5 minutes to go in this one until Barcelona will be crowned champions again. Cospo over to Cuenca. You can see the laugh on the bench here for Barcelona. They are really enjoying themselves, not just today, but this season too. There's been a good feel about the group. You can see that translated onto the playing field too. You can see José Ramón Alexanco up there for Barcelona, coordinator of the youth football levels at the club. He'll be no doubt happy about what he's seeing today. And indeed the election to put Belletti in as the under-19s manager going well so far. This is just one of 3 titles that Barca want though. Just the start they'll see this as in the season. Comes at a nice point too to give them a boost. There's a good ball through towards Diarra. Credit to Tobajas, though, hasn't stopped working, in all fairness, him off the ball too. Pariegos nipped at his ankles there, though, and won that one back. Here is Xavi Espart after receiving the ball from Diarra. Let's go back to Cospo. Yeah, just been a professional display from Barca in the second half. We knew it wasn't going to be fireworks after they were 3-0 up. They've still managed to pick their moments, get 2 important goals. Diarra. Pariego. Still Marcos Pariego. Now Arnau Pradas. Back now to Diarra. Cospo. Into Thomas Marquez. Pariego. Wide here to Andres Cuenca. Marquez. Fariñas wide now to Jan Virgili. Can he conjure up a moment of magic before this one's up? Doesn't really have that sort of feel about it right now, the game, but can basketball something here? Here's Pariego. Still going, Marcos Pariego. This time, Zaragoza come away with the ball and can break away here. Berard just puts his boot through that, doesn't want anywhere near his goal right now. Spot. Well, Barcelona are nearly there. Stellar display this early afternoon, you'd have to say. Very, very, very impressive the way they've gone about their work. Being one of those performances that will be remembered for a long time, especially in a moment like this. Everything they've done has been almost perfect. I mean, the way they came out just blew Zaragoza out the water. Gave the team dressed in white zero chance. Switch is good to the far side. Walton denies that switch from coming off and still is playing so aggressively. Walton, brilliant stuff, and he releases Jan Virgili. Options inside. Virgili goes past one. Oh, and he's hacked down. That's a terrible tackle. And Jan Virgili's not happy about it at all. Tobajas, wasn't it? Well, that wasn't good at all. Well, Jan Virgili was penalised just a few moments ago, and I think he thought unfairly so, and that was, well, that wasn't great, actually, really, very late. And the landing on the arm, wasn't it? The landing on the right arm, I think, is what's really hurt Jan Virgili there more than anything. So here we go. How much added time will there be? That's the question. I don't see a board down there, so let's find out. Maybe none. There is none. It's all over here. Barcelona are champions of the Under-19s Copa del Rey for the first time since 2011. They are the all-time champions of this competition. That's the 19th time they've won it. It's history again for Juliano Belletti's side, who simply keep on winning this season. On the night and on the day, they were absolutely brilliant. They blew Zaragoza out of the park. 5 goals, 2 from Hugo Alba, 2 from Juan Hernández and 1 from Arnau Pradas. All of the usual suspects on the score sheet. This is just the first of 3 titles that Belletti wants for his side this season. Stay with us for the cup lift, which we'll bring you shortly. For now, Barcelona are champions of the Copa del Rey. This is the moment that players of this age dream of. It's Hugo Alba for Barcelona to lift the trophy into the air. Barcelona, Under-19 Copa del Rey champions, the deserved winners. They played brilliant football throughout the tournament. Tonight, they were superb once more. Huge credit to the coaching staff, huge credit to these players. They will celebrate into the Badajoz night, no doubt. Chants of Campeones ring around as we are the champions. Blares through the speakers. One of those days they won't be forgetting about in a while. He's deserved to lift that one up. Hugo Alba. He's led this team all season long. And well, he'll be thinking, I hope that's not the last trophy I lift this season. This is just a step in the road for Barcelona. Plenty more moments like this to come, they'll hope. There's another cheer in front of their fans, their families. Great moment, great scenes.